Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. So we've got one of the old Gardenway Troy Bilt push mowers here. I was given this by the husband of one of my high school friends, middle school, elementary school. Went to the same day camp together and all that stuff. Anyways, it runs and cuts. Self-propel is a little weak, but it does work. I think it just needs a cable tightening. Main issue is the deck adjustment screw is stripped out of it, so I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Hopefully this will be a short video, and we'll go ahead and get that taken care of. It just needs a service too, air filter and little things like that. So let's go ahead and get started on it and see what we can do about this deck height adjustment on this Troy Bilt. So again, really quick walk around. This is one of them Troy Bilts made by Gardenway. It's got like an aluminum composite magnesium, one of the materials, decks on it. You can see the paint's flaking off and stuff like that. This mower was given to the guy who gave it to me, so he didn't have anything in it. He was just cutting some grass. But an American legend is what the sticker says. And again, made Gardenway Incorporated. There's your model number and all that good stuff for those that are interested. Made 3 of 97. So this is probably one of the last ones they made of Gardenway Troy Bilt. I do not know the year. A lot of y'all know the year that MTD bought Troy Bilt out. I want to say it was late 90s, maybe early 2000s. So, and it's all downhill from there. 5 horsepower Briggs. It's got the choke feature on it and the drive up top here. Pull rope's fine. Blade needs replacing. But what we're really here for is this thing right here, this adjustment. So this thing's stripped out. I can't get it to go up and down. He tried to fix it so it would stay on one height. That's probably what I'm going to try and do to it as well. I don't know if I got front wheels for it. I think I just want to get the height to set to where it's at a decent height for somebody to cut the grass with. List it for about 60 bucks and let it roll. Adjust the self-propel a little bit right there. Cables are all good on it, so that's a good thing. I'll show you. Hopefully it doesn't make a liar out of me, but we're going to see if I can start it. I need to go get gas, so I hope it's got gas in it. It is actually bone dry, so like bone dry. I pull a bit of 50 to 1 in it just to show y'all that it runs. That's I don't see any leaks from it, so pull rope's a little short. I would think some of the surging is contributed to the blade on it. If you can see that. I think y'all can see that. It's really, really bad. So I think a blade would fix that surging issue. Starts right up though. Let me quit jabbering. Let me get this thing on its side and I'll show you the setup for the height adjustment. Alright guys, under the mower, let me show you the height adjustment. You can see that there's a better look at that blade that is absolutely trashed. Height adjust is right here. He tried to put some sort of bracket in there so that it didn't fall down any more than it was. Obviously that didn't, it worked for him for a time, but it didn't work for him permanently. So what I'm planning to do, I gotta figure out how to get this whole thing off, honestly. I'll take this bracket off, which I think is a 7/16 on one side, and looks like he put a square, looks like it's a little rigged, but hey, it worked for him. Take care of all that, see what we can do to kind of affix this to where it's not going to fall on us. It might screw something to the deck up here, drill a couple holes and put like a, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna figure something out. Let me get that bracket off and then we'll see what we're dealing with a little bit more here in a second. Alright guys, I've gotten to this point. Let me show you what I've done. So I took the wheel off, 9/16 inch bolt. The nut was on the other side here, right? I took an Allen, unscrewed the Allen from right into there, and then I was able to wiggle this assembly up and out of the mower. So now what I want to do is pull this axle out, which I think I can do. Can I? What I'd like to do is slide it down and pull this out. But I may have to do that to the other side as well. Not quite sure. I wonder if this comes off like the... Maybe not. So we've gotten to that point. Again, the goal down here is to get this out. But the thing is, this is on so tight I can't loosen this nut up in order to get it off. So let me get a ratchet real quick. I at least want to show you how this comes off, if I can. Holy moly, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't, never mind. Wow. Okay. Let me turn it on the other side and see what I can do about that, because I can't get this bolt off in its current state. Yeah, a little bit too hard. Let me hit the other side and see what I can manage. Alright guys, there's nothing necessarily wrong with the threads on this thing. The issue is with this little plastic bushing right here. The threads are kind of stripped out. So, because it'll screw in and out right here, but once you get it about right there, it's when it starts stripping. So, I'm going to take that out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find, because it goes up, this is all the way up, this is all the way down. I'm going to put a bolt right here about midway through. By the way, I got the rear axle off. It was plug and play on the other side too, just to get the wheel assembly off, and I just had to kind of thread it through in order to get it around the bushing and whatnot. It took a little bit of work, but not terribly crazy. And I'm going to find a nut that works with this, screw it on, screw it up to about maybe right here, and that'll give it a proper height to cut. I just advertise it as a mower that cuts at one height. Again, not making a ton of money off of it. Again, just putting an afternoon's worth of work into it, calling it a day. So that's where I'm at. I'll put the nut in. Before I put the axle back on, I'll let y'all join back in. Alright, y'all, so I essentially put it back together in the reverse order that I took it off. And what has happened is I took, instead of a washer or a nut that screws onto this, I found some that were slightly bigger, and I essentially just used them as spacers. So that got it to where it will not go down, the deck will not go down any further than it is. Although, like I said, the mower's not worth much money as it is. I'm just trying to get it into cutting condition. It does run and the self-propel does work. We're about to tighten up the self-propel, but I'll show you that the deck is at a lot more of a presentable height to cut with. So that's what it's going to be. I'll advertise it as that it cuts on, you're not able to adjust the deck, but it cuts on one level just fine. Now for the self-propel, it runs, self-propel wheels turn, but it does not have enough oomph to propel the self-propel. So I don't think it's pulling the pulley enough here. And as you can see, I do have quite a bit of adjustment left on this cable. So it is a couple of 7/16, and all I'm going to do is loosen that nut right there, and we're going to tighten this nut right here and get it up to about right here. We want to tighten it to where it'll engage the wheels but not break the cable, and so that's what I'm going to do next. So I found when I turn this cable, or turn this nut here, it actually pops out of the slot, and so that actually makes my life a lot easier, because I'm just essentially going to turn this nut on the top up, maybe not as far as I can go. We're going to kind of put it up about halfway, much further than where we were. Okay, now we're going to tighten this up. Leave a little bit of a gap. Now we're going to tighten it up, and I'm going to get the wrench to do the remainder of this. We're going to hold it down while we tighten it, so it doesn't come out of the slot. Maybe another wrench. See if I can hold it on the inside here. There we go. There's a little bit of flex in this cable, which is nice. I don't see it pulling it very much though. Let's see if that's enough. If not, we'll keep on cruising with the Alright, let's check. I gotta get some stuff up here in a minute. Gonna go a little bit further and see. It's not really trying. It's trying not really pulling the cable very well. And there actually might be grass clogged up in the front. But I'm gonna try the cable a little bit more because it's not Yeah, just kind of stressing the cable. So let me get a screwdriver and take this front cover off and see what it looks like. So let's see. I think I need a number 3, but let's see if a number 2 will do it. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. Because we might just have a kind of a stuck linkage or something on the mower. Of course, this one's not gonna. Here we go. Good. I was afraid those were gonna be rusted there. Hopefully, y'all are seeing this. All right. So that's off. Let's see if I can get this cover off now. Yeah. Oh boy, that belt actually doesn't look too bad. Where does this cable go though? It's a little rusty in there, so. Yeah, it's just not pulling it very well. I think I don't know if the cable is kinked up or if the lever's a little frozen on it. Okay, I see. So this is the self-propel cable itself that runs right there. And it is not really doing anything. So I may just need some lube, or because that's working. So, like I said, I don't know if it's the belt mechanism that's not working, or if the self-propel is just weak. Since it runs on a drive disc. But I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if I can get this. See, I have some pliers here. So. Let's see what this thing does whenever I do that. Honestly, I think the drive disc is just worn out on it. because it doesn't seem like it wants to work otherwise. That spring doesn't look right either, so that's kind of making me wonder about the self-propel. I'm going to do a little bit more research on this, y'all, and then I'll rejoin you when I kind of figure out what's going on with it. Alright guys, good news. I think I got it figured out. I think I have to adjust this as well. This adjusts so it's like a friction disc, and obviously if it's on the outside of the pulley it's going to run slower. If it's on the inside of the pulley it's going to run faster. So the thing is, it was on the outside of the pulley. The cable was kind of keeping the tension on that outside of the pulley. So what I'm going to do is take that nut and that nut, which is just like the other one that I did, and tighten it up to break the belt, or to make the pulley further on the inside. That way it will give me a little bit more speed. So I'll go ahead and do that next and see if that helps out things. Alright guys, this is the finished product of the Troy Bilt, all cleaned up, ready to go. All I did off camera was I changed the blade. I did exactly what I said I was going to do with the self-propel, and it is quick enough and the deck is high enough, and so for a mower of this vintage and condition, that is good enough. So did clean up pretty nice. I'll give you a walk around of it. As you can see, there's a little bit of paint flaking off of the deck, but that's that aluminum deck that once the paint gets as old as this is, it's going to do that anyways, just like a car. So runs good. Like I said, the pour-up's a little bit short. The deck is only able to be adjusted, or not able to be adjusted, because of the height lever, which I'm sure is probably more than the mower is worth, to try and get that fixed. But the self-propel does work. It starts right up and cuts fine. So I think for I don't know, $60 to $70, somebody will enjoy this mower. I know the wheels are about wore out too. So we'll see what I end up getting with for this, but I'll show you that it runs and the self-propel works, and then we'll wrap it up. So you can hear it's running a lot better now, and that's mostly because I have a much better, almost new blade on it. I found a universal blade that works, and so I'm just using that since that's what we can use for this. So that is all for this one. Hopefully this is a nice quick mower video for you. But we had the issue with the self-propel that we tightened up the cable on. We had the issue with the self-propel and gauge that we tightened up the cable on. So it's just tightening up a couple cables, replacing the blade, cleaning it up, making it look good, and giving it an oil change. So free mower. I've got a blade in it, which I'm sure I didn't pay anything for, and so we'll get about $60 out of it. So one of these old nice Gardenway Troy Bilts before MTD bought them out. You can see this mower's gotten a ton of use out of it, and it still runs great. So and the deck's still very solid apart from missing a little bit of paint. So thank you all again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.